Okay, we will now simulate a sampling distribution, specifically a sampling distribution of sample proportions. So in 2008, it was estimated that 62% of Americans own stocks. Simulate the distribution of the proportion of Americans that own stocks in samples of size 40. Okay, well, we're going to do that, but one way we could do it is to get 100 pieces of paper and write own stocks on 62 of them and write does not own stocks on 38 of them. That way we've created a population whose true proportion is 62%. Then we could reach into the hat after shuffling it and pull out 40 pieces of paper. And then record on those 40 pieces of paper how many of them say own stocks and how many of them say does not own stocks. Now, because the true proportion of the population is 62%, you would expect that roughly 62% of those 40 pieces of paper had owned stocks on them. But of course, it wouldn't be exactly 62% every single time. So what we're going to do is we are going to repeat that process of reaching in and pulling out 40 pieces of paper 10,000 times. So we're going to do that, and then we're going to create a distribution of all the different proportions that we get. And we expect all of them to be close to 62 since the true population proportion was 62. Since we're not going to do that because it's very time consuming, even though we could get the 100 pieces of paper, write it down, and then do it 10,000 times, we're going to use a computer simulation to do it instead. So we're going to go through those same steps, but we're going to do it with a computer simulation. So using Python, the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to import some libraries I need. So first I'm going to import NumPy as NP, and I'm also going to from SciPy import stats. So the stats is going to give me the distribution I need. So I'm just going to run that. Those are the two libraries I'm going to use. And then after I do that, I'm going to set up my hat. I'm going to set up my hat that has the 100 pieces of paper on which 62 are marked with own stocks and 38 are marked with does not own stocks. So I'm going to add a code cell to set up my population. And to do that, all I'm going to do is type P equals 0.62. So that's basically like having a hat with 62 pieces of paper marked own stocks and 38 pieces of paper marked does not own stocks, just by doing that one line of code. Then I'm going to add another code cell I'm going to do the sampling now. So this code cell, I'm going to do all of the sampling. So the first thing I'm going to set up is the sample size. The sample size is n equals 40. So I want samples of size 40. Then I'm going to actually set up the Bernoulli random variable that's going to give me a 1 62% of the time or a 0 38% of the time. So here we go. I'm going to call that Bernoulli random variable x, and x is going to be equal to stats.Bernoulli. So that's how we know it's a Bernoulli random variable. And then the Bernoulli random variable, this Bernoulli method, takes one parameter, and the parameter it takes is the proportion of times or the percentage of times you want it to give you back a 1 or a success. So I'm going to type in P because I want it to give me a success 62% of the time. So that's what this line of code does. It's going to give me either a 1 or a 0, and the percentage of times it's going to give me a 1 is 62%. The percentage of time it's going to give me a 0 is 38%. But that's only one random variable. That's like asking one person if they own stock or not. I want to do it for at least one sample of 40 people. So I'm going to set up this other variable y. It's going to be equal to, and then I'm going to use another method, but this is going to be a method of x itself, the Bernoulli random variable x. And the method of the Bernoulli random variable x I'm going to use is x.rvs. So that Bernoulli random variable x has a method called RVS, and RVS is going to produce a bunch of random variables. All you have to do is tell it how many you want, in parentheses here, and the size or the amount that I want is n. I want 40 random variables. So y is now my sample of 40 random Bernoulli trials. And if you print it to the screen by just typing y and pressing run, you'll see these are my 40 random variables, and roughly 62% of them are successes, or 1, meaning we selected somebody that owns stocks, and 38% of them are zeros, meaning we selected somebody that does not own stocks. So this is only one random variable. So x is one individual Bernoulli trial, y is n or 40 Bernoulli random variables, but I actually want to do this 10,000 times. Y is the result of like reaching into the hat and taking out a handful of 40 pieces of paper. But I want to do that 10,000 times. I actually want to reach into that hat 10,000 times and pull out 40 pieces of paper. So that's what we're going to do now. I'm going to do that by just setting up a for loop here so that I'm going to do this 10,000 times. I'm just going to say for I in range, and then I'm just going to tell it how many times, which is 10,000. 1, 2, 3, 10,000. So what this will do is it'll actually create 10,000 of those arrays that we just created. 10,000 random samples of 40 Bernoulli random variables that have a population proportion of 62%. So I just run this, and I'm not going to print it to the screen because it's 10,000 zeros or ones, actually 40,000. So, all right, now it's set up. So I now know that I have 10,000 samples of size 40 in the memory of this computer. So now what I want to do is I want to calculate some of the statistics from those 10,000 samples. And I also want to display them in a histogram, all those proportions. So to do that, first, I'm going to calculate the average of all those sample proportions. So it's the average of all the sample proportions. But to do that, I actually have to create the sample proportions. Because right now, all I have is counts, or a bunch of zeros and ones, 10,000 of 40 collections of 40 zeros and ones. So I'm going to actually calculate all the sample proportions, or the p-hats. And the p-hats I'm going to calculate by adding up all the zeros or ones in each of the individual samples. So there's 40 zeros or 1 in each sample. If I add them up, then I'm just adding zeros and ones, but the ones represent successes. So I'm basically looking at the number of successes in each trial, or in each sample. So to find the number of successes in each trial, I'm just going to do a sum, which is a numpy function, so np dot sum. And then the thing that I want to sum is the variable y, which is a bunch of samples. And I want to actually sum y, and then I'm going to give it axis equals 1. But I don't just want to add them all up, because that'll just tell me, for instance, in the 40, it'll just tell me that, hey, out of the 40, 26 of them were successes, 26 of them own stocks. Or out of the 40, 30 of them were successes, 30 of them own stocks. That's not what I want. I want to know the proportion, or the fraction that owns stocks. So I'm going to take this sum, and I'm going to divide it by the sample size n. So this is going to produce all the different p-hats. It's going to produce 10,000 different proportions, 10,000 different sample proportions. All right. And that's what the p-hats array is. This is 10,000 sample proportions from samples of size 40. And what I want to do next is I want to just calculate the mean and standard deviation of those 10,000 sample proportions. So I'm going to call the mean mu of the p-hats. P-hats. So I'm calling the mean of all these p-hats mu of p-hats. And that's just going to be a mean. So how do I calculate a mean? Well, NumPy has a mean method. So np.mean. And what do I want the mean of? I want the mean of the p-hats. So this will give me the mean of the p-hats. Let's see if we can't see what that is. Let's just do mu p-hats and see what that looks like. So it turns out the mean of the p-hats is 0.6175825. So the mean of the p-hats is very close to the population proportion. And if you actually round it to 2 decimal places, the mean of the p-hats is equal to the population proportion. Let's increase the number of samples. So I'm going from 10,000 to 100,000 samples now. And running it. Oh, that's a lot, so it's going to take a while to run. And then I'm going to run this again. And look, it gets closer to the more samples I have, the closer the mean of all the sample proportions is to actually the population proportion. So that's actually a good sign. The more samples I have, the closer the average of all the sample proportions is to the actual population proportion. That's great. So I also want to calculate the standard deviation. So I'll get rid of this and I'll just type mu, or not mu, standard deviation, which I'll call sigma. Sigma is actually variance, right? So I'll say STD for standard deviation of p-hats. So the standard deviation of the p-hats is equal to, and NumPy also has a standard deviation method. So NP dot, and it's going to be just like I called it, STD, and it's going to be the standard deviation of the p-hats. So the standard deviation of the p-hats is that one. Let's see what it actually equals. Standard deviation of the p-hats. Okay, and the standard deviation of the p-hats is roughly 8%. So the average is roughly the population mean, roughly 62%, but it varies on average by roughly 8%. So these proportions, roughly, they're spread out by roughly 8% on average. Okay, so that is the mean and standard deviation of the sample proportion. All right, the last thing I actually want to calculate is the standard error of the sampling distribution. So the standard error of the sampling distribution is given by a formula. So I'll call that SE. And the standard error is going to be, well, it's going to be a square root. So I'm going to do math. Oh, I didn't call math. So first I want to import math. So I'm importing math. And after I import math, then I'm going to use the math function to create the standard error, because I need the square root. So I'm going to do math equals, and then it's going to be, or standard error SE equals math dot square root, which is SQRT. And then I'm taking the square root of, I'm going to make a parenthesis, it's going to be P, which is the population proportion, 62%, times the complement of P, which is 1 minus P, 38%. And I have to divide that by N. So divided by N. All right, so that's the standard error. And now I'm just going to print out all 3 of these things to the screen. So I'm going to do the mean, which is mu of the p-hats. I'm also going to do the standard deviation of the p-hats, which I call STD p-hats. And I'm also going to now put in here the standard error, SE. So I'm going to get an ordered triplet with all 3 of these things. And here we go. So mean of all the sample proportions is roughly equal to the population proportion, 62%. The standard deviation of all the sample proportions seems to actually be equal to the standard error of the sampling distribution. So the standard deviation of the sample proportions seems to be roughly approaching the standard error. So the last thing I'm going to do then is I'm going to create a histogram to see what this sampling distribution looks like, what all these 10,000, or I think I have 100,000 now, sample proportions look like when you make a histogram out of them. So for the histogram, I'm going to be using PyPlot. So I'll import, so actually from matplotlib, I'm going to import PyPlot as PLT. So this is how I'm going to create the histogram. Actual command here is going to be PLT.hist for the histogram, but then I have to tell it what I want to make the histogram of. We're making a histogram for the sampling distribution of sample proportions. So in order to do that, we have to put in here, the histogram has to be for the P hats. So this is going to be a histogram of all my 100,000 P hats. And then I'm just going to do PLT.show, so it only shows me the histogram and not the array, the frequency distribution. So there we go. This is a histogram that actually shows that my distribution for all my sampling proportions is roughly symmetric or bell-shaped. So it looks like it could be a normal distribution.